Hello good people, Eber here with Hardware Canucks, and this is the Razer Phone 2. Now at first glance, you're not going to notice a major difference between this and its previous or predecessor, the Razer Phone, because from a design standpoint, it's pretty much the exact same thing, except for a few minor increments in terms of features. And let's talk about that right after a message from our sponsor.
The new Mastercase MK750 keyboard comes with a comfortable magnetic wrist rest, beautiful RGB light bar on the perimeter, and per-key lighting control with a variety of Cherry MX switches and a bottom Type-C connection. Cooler Master doing it right. Check it out below.
Okay, so what's really new with the Razer Phone 2? Well, let's start off with the design, and to be honest, it's not that different from the original Razer phone. I think the noticeable difference that you'll see compared to the original phone is that the rear side of the device has been replaced with Gorilla Glass 5 instead of the traditional matte black aluminum finish. This adds support for wireless charging, but given that this is a glass back, you can definitely expect scratches and it being slippery eventually over time, because it's obviously a surface that picks up grease and fingerprints quicker than aluminum surfaces, so that's again something to keep note of. Now, given that it's 2018, we had to expect some sort of RGB lighting on a smartphone of this caliber, and that's exactly what's going on here. So the logo hidden underneath the Gorilla Glass 5 back is RGB lit, and it's controlled through Razer's Chroma app pre-installed on the device. There are 3 lighting effects that you can play around with. So there's spectrum cycling, breathing, and static effect, and you can customize the colors to up to 16.7 million colors, which is certainly a nice touch. So if you're looking for a smartphone with RGB lighting, this is certainly the one to get. Apart from the ROG phone that I still have no idea on availability or launch. So yeah, RGB, Razer Phone 2. They've also added IP67 water resistant rating, which is a welcoming update from the original Razer phone. It's certainly not IP68 certified, but given that you've got 2 front-facing speakers, Razer actually had to redesign the speaker system to accommodate that certification. So it's certainly a welcoming and refreshing update from the original Razer phone. But aside from that, from a design standpoint, it's again very much identical to the original Razer phone. Alright, so spec-wise, you're getting a Snapdragon 845 processor, 8GB of RAM, 64GB of storage, and a 4000 mAh battery. Again, the only incremental upgrade internally is that processor bump. You're still getting the same amount of RAM compared to the original Razer phone. You're also getting the same battery capacity. So again, not a significant upgrade on that department as well. But what they have included is a new vapor cooling chamber design internally, so it actually dissipates the heat a lot better. So that's again something to be validated in the full review. The next thing to talk about is the display, and just as expected, it's not a significant update from the original Razer phone. So you're getting the same 5.7-inch QHD plus display with the 120Hz refresh rate, and my God, it looks amazing in person. If you're someone who's used to a traditional smartphone, especially like myself, who has never actually used the original Razer phone, I just fell in love with this display right away, because the fluidity and the experience that you get just browsing through the Android operating system, and of course gaming for the most part, is just fantastic. I did get some hands-on time with it, gaming as well, and it's again a breathtaking experience. You really have to feel it by yourself in person, because the 120Hz display is just quite amazing, especially on a mobile device. And it's really hard for me to go back to a smartphone that uses a traditional 60Hz display, because the phone feels slower and it just doesn't complete that experience. Now, Razer did increase the brightness of this display by 50%, so you're looking at 580 nits versus 380 nits on the original Razer phone. So that's certainly, again, an incremental upgrade, but certainly refreshing to see on the second generation Razer phone. Software-wise, this phone is rocking Android 8.1 Oreo out of the box, which is kind of disappointing because I was expecting Android Pie, and you know, for a phone that's launching at the end of 2018, it just doesn't make any sense for it to ship out with 8.1. But Razer is promising Android Pie sooner than later, not just for the Razer Phone 2, but also for the Razer Phone 1. So let's just hope that happens. Other than that, you are getting a pretty close to stock Android experience without any bloatware, so that's awesome. There are no third-party skins or anything like that. In fact, Razer gives you full customization options, so it is rocking Nova Launcher by default. But most specifically, you do have a theme store. So if you want to play around with different themes, that's there. But there's also Razer Cortex, which is a dedicated application that makes you switch between different modes, particularly for a balanced performance mode that lets you just conserve battery life for longer usage. Or if you want absolute best performance, you can go for the max performance mode, which will give you the highest frame rates, but that's definitely going to take a little bit of hit on battery life. Now, one of the major drawbacks of the original Razer phone was the camera performance because it just wasn't up to the standards, especially when compared to the flagships from last year. And Razer is trying to address that with the Razer Phone 2 because they've implemented dual 12 megapixel cameras. You've got a standard lens and a telephoto lens with different aperture variants, but they do come with optical image stabilizations. But most specifically, you'd also get, extra features like portrait mode, better low light performance. And there's also a beauty mode integrated on this device. So again, those are some of the things that I'll have to validate for the full review. So definitely stay tuned for that. But I'm going to keep my expectations neutral because from my initial testing or with my initial hands-on with this device, I just wasn't impressed with the camera performance. So let's just wait and see. I'm just going to spend some time with the camera on the Razer Phone 2 to give my full thoughts on that, and perhaps I'll be able to compare it to the Note 9 and the Pixel 2. So again, definitely stay tuned for that. So guys, that's pretty much a story with the Razer Phone 2, and honestly, it's an incremental upgrade over the original Razer phone. Just to quickly run over the updates, you're getting a new finish on the back. It's now Gorilla Glass 5 with the RGB LED logo, and it supports wireless charging. Slightly improved cameras. It also comes with IP67 water resistant rating, a brighter display, slightly better sounding speakers, and that's about it. And of course, it's going to be priced a little bit higher. So the original Razer phone retailed for $699 for the base model. The Razer Phone 2 is going to be starting at $799 for the base model, which is certainly an expensive investment. But if you look at the smartphone market in general, I think it's priced competitively, especially when you compare it to the Pixel 3, the Galaxy Note 9, the LG V40. So again, it's a smartphone specifically targeted towards a certain market. If you're a gamer and if you're looking for an all-in-one entertainment device, this is certainly something to look into because that 120 Hz display is certainly something that I can't take my eyes off. But I will be spending some time with this device just like my other devices, especially like the Note 9, just to see what the experience is like and if I really like it, particularly the cameras. Those are some of the things that I really want to test to see if it's actually worth the $799 price tag. So certainly stay tuned for the review. I'm Eber with Hardware Canucks. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out some relevant content over here. Subscribe to our new Boot Sequence channel for the latest tech news and rumors. I'm signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next one. The phone just dropped. This is the problem with having phones with glass backs because they slip.